What is up there? Welcome to a brand new video on 414 Anime. In today's video, we will be looking at the Demon Kings from the Date A Live series. Now, a Demon King is the polar opposite or counterpart to a spirit's angel linked to that spirit's inverse form. They are similar in appearance, be it a different color scheme or one that is darker than the original angels. As well as that, a Demon King again wields very similar powers to their angel counterparts, albeit for some slight variations in effect. So we're going to break down the Demon Kings in terms of what they are and what they do, as well as name and compare a few examples, as well as list out the Demon King for all 10 of the spirits. If you do enjoy these Date A Live videos on the channel, make sure to smash that like button to let me know, and it also helps me out a lot. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell as well so you'll be notified when new Date A Live videos go live on the channel. And of course there will be spoilers, so you have been warned. Anyway, grab yourself a beverage, let's roll intro and get straight into the video. So we have established that a Demon King is the evil or bad counterpart of a spirit's angel, and that there are some differences in appearance. Expanding on that fact, let's look at Toka as an example. In her spirit form, her astral dress is an elegant set of armor with a very light color scheme. The sword she wields, Sandalphon, is a giant broadsword that for me has always given off that vibe that Toka is almost a representation of a knight. Now, when inversed and looking solely at appearance, we can see that the overall theme is much darker in color. The dress is also very revealing compared to the armor that Toka wears. The design choice for that was actually summed up very well by the author of the series, as he went on record as saying in the afterword of Volume 7, where Toka's inverse form debuted, that the dress was designed to be revealing due to the fact that an evil character is more prone to seducing the hero of a story. So they are heavily playing on that good versus bad theme here, with the Demon Kings or inverse form being the evil side of the spirits. The other core difference is that the Demon Kings often completely overwhelm that of an angel when it comes to their raw power and ability. They are also described as having a presence that is completely terrifying, which of course is completely different from the feeling of being near an angel, of course. Now, we can actually visually see the difference in power between a spirit's angel and Demon King thanks to the spirit data collected by Ratatoska that was then kindly published to us fans. This was in a poster book entitled Ratatoska's Daily Observations. So the two spirits we will be looking at and comparing here are going to be, again, Toka and then Origami. So Toka's stats when she is using her angel are 230 for strength, 202 consistency, 125 spirit power, 142 agility, and, unfortunately for Toka, 32 intelligence. Now, her Demon King or inverse stats are 240 for strength, 178 consistency, 201 spirit power, 150 agility, and 33 intelligence. Comparing the two, we can see that everything got a boost here apart from consistency, which I guess is a nod to the uncontrollable nature of a Demon King when a spirit inverses. The boosts were pretty minor for all, with strength gaining a 10-point boost, agility went up by 8 points, and they certainly did Toka dirty here by raising that intelligence stat by 1. Now, the main thing that stands out here is the huge increase in spirit power that the Demon King has over the Angel, in which there was a huge 76-point boost, taking it from 125 to 201, which is absolutely insane. Now let's look at Origami's comparison to see if we can see any similarities or differences that could be matched to the individual or spirit rather than the inverse as a whole. So Origami's angel stats are 158 for strength, 152 for consistency, 219 for spirit power, 136 agility, and 243 for intelligence. Her Demon King stats are 198 strength, 202 consistency, 242 spirit power, 128 agility, and 230 for intelligence. As we can see here, there was a difference when compared to Toka's changes, and that is all linked to the specific power and nature of that spirit. So we can see that Origami's strength, consistency, and spirit power stats all went up. However, she dropped in stats for 2 categories in comparison to Toka. Also, it was both her strength and consistency that received a huge increase, whereas Toka's large increase was in spirit power alone. So this is very interesting, and it definitely confirms to us that a Demon King's power is indeed a frightening sight to behold, and one that is a direct link or counterpart to the specific angel to which is linked, meaning that the stat boosts will affect different areas depending on that spirit's core strengths. And though there is obviously a huge advantage when using a Demon King, wielding this great power is a completely different story. When a spirit inverses, they pretty much lose all sense of reason and go into a wild rampage. Somewhat different from others, Tenka is the obvious example here, as she is another personality of Toka's that lays dormant within her, which is of course her inverse form. But usually, and as we have seen, all control is lost, and that is due to the fact that the power of a Demon King is one that goes far beyond that of a human's physicality and mindset. Shido himself attempted to wield the power of Toka's Demon King, and in attempting to do so, he described it as like trying to access forbidden knowledge that was far beyond that of human comprehension. Taking that in mind, this was at a time where Shido was able to wield the power of all the 10 spirits, and not to mention the experience he had in wielding their powers at this point. Shido continued to explain that if it wasn't for the voice in the sword guiding him, his mind would have completely collapsed if he were to have swung the sword only once, which again we can visually see when a spirit is inversing. We see them fall seemingly out of consciousness and their minds begin to slip to the overwhelming power of their Demon King. There is of course one that had a greater resistance to the power of a Demon King, or a tolerance I guess you could say to its drawbacks, and that was of course Westcott. This resistance he had to them was all down to the fact that he was a pure-blooded magician. However, even he and his body had its limits. He was easily able to control the power of Beelzebub straight after acquiring it, but because he had taken in so many of these Demon Kings, he opted to retreat straight after that, in order for his mind and body to stabilize. So we know the Demon Kings are all named after the demons from the evil counterpart of the Sephiroth tree called the Qliphoth tree. Each of the spirits' Demon Kings are as follows in order of the angels of the Tree of Life. So Metatron's is Satan, Raziel's is Beelzebub, Zafkiel's is Lucifugi, Zadkiel's is Astaroth, Carmiel's is Asmodeus, Michael's is Belphegor, Haniel's is Baal, Raphael's is Aldramelech, Gabriel's is Lilith, and Sandalphon's is Nahama. There were also a couple of others in Westcott's possession called Athiel, Belial, and Quimetal. The only other Demon King we know of is Lucifugus, who was owned by the White Queen. So we have talked about the appearance and power differences between a Demon King and an angel, but we finally have to touch on the similarities in the abilities of both. So as counterparts, the Demon King's abilities do not stretch all that far from the angel's original abilities. For example, both Nahama and Sandalphon are both swords that hold the power to cut through almost anything. Metatron and Satan are both crown-shaped drones that fire off beams of energy, with Satan's beams obviously being darker in color. Beelzebub also retains the ability of Raziel, in which it can freely search any information that the user desires. However, the only exception is the White Queen's Lucifugus. You may have noticed a slight difference in name when it came to naming Zafkiel's Demon King, and that is true here. As we know, Zafkiel manipulates that of time, whereas Lucifugus manipulates space instead. Other than this one example, the rules of similarity remain the same for all of the others that we have seen or know about so far. And that is it for the Demon Kings. I think this subject is really fascinating, and I love seeing the slight differences in the angels' counterparts. The darker theme of them is also really exciting, and I've just got to say, hats off to the designs here. The inverse forms of the spirits and their Demon King abilities are really top-notch stuff. Now, while you wait for more Data Live content to drop on the channel, make sure to click the video link here to see a video I made where I talk about the spirits' inverse forms and break down exactly what each of them are capable of. Till next time, I'll see you soon. Peace!